hoopinhoops.com. Both the Eastern and the Western Conference finals have started, with the Heat taking game one against the Boston Celtics and the Nuggets defeating the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, if we start off with the Heat Boston, I still expect the Celtics to win the series, but they have to be careful with the Heat. Miami is well coached, and when they smell blood, they go in for the kill. We saw with the Bucks series, the moment they had the opportunity to close them out, they did exactly that. But all that said, the Celtics are a more talented team, and of course, nothing is impossible, but I expect Boston to win the series. Certainly, they cannot play game two the same way they did game one. By that, I mean they were up at halftime by 9 points, but the Heat went on a 46-25 third quarter run to take the lead. So certainly the Celtics, will have to play a more complete game. The Nuggets, as I said, they took game one against the Lakers. After the first half, it looked like the game would have been a blowout, but the Lakers made adjustments in the second half and, missed a shot that could have tied the game with, I believe, about 40 something, 49 or so seconds left in the game. The Nuggets game plan was simple but effective. Put Austin Reeves in a number of pick and rolls with Murray and Jokic. And, the Joker, when he set his screen, he would not set it so high that, if AD would switch, it would be easy for him to go to the rim and get an uncontested basket. So, AD had to stick with him. That would leave Murray open for the jumper because Austin Reeves could not get to him in time. But in the second half, there were a number of adjustments, small adjustments that the Lakers made. But the primary adjustment was to put Rui Hachimura on the Joker. That allowed AD to play off Jokic and rotate to him when necessary. Now, it seemed to work. But as we all know, it was too little, too late. We will see what happens when both teams make adjustments in game two. Now, this is the little bit I want to add. Jokic had 34 points, I think 20 or so rebounds, and over 10, about 12 or so assists. And if persons remember, persons were killing DeAndre Ayton, saying that, he's not fighting back or doing anything. And you look at the stat line Jokic had against AD. And you ask yourself, AD, I believe, is a better defender than DeAndre Ayton. And if, Jokic could do what he did, and he did it primarily through three quarters. In the fourth quarter, Jokic was not very effective based on some of the adjustments. But you look at what he did against DeAndre Ayton, and then you understand there's not much Ayton could have done either. The only thing, of course, persons would be credible in that, he could have give a greater attempt to rebound the ball. But I said this in my previous podcast. Ayton, he has offensive abilities, but he's not getting touches because two players, Durant and Booker, were primarily taking all the shots. So you could see some discouragement there. Let's put aside that the fact that he doesn't really want to play. He didn't want to play for Monty, and he really didn't want to be on the Suns either. But there's not too much he could have done to stop the Joker. That said, you could see when Joker went up against AD, Joker had a big stat line. It's not like, AD just stood there and took it, because AD had 40 points and 10 rebounds. AD had a big night as well. So, but of course, you know, well, the thing with the Nuggets is that when you look at the the scoring on the Nuggets, especially just look at the starting five. Other than Joker getting 34, Murray had 31. Um, what's his name? Michael Porter Jr. had about 25. Caldwell Pope had about 21, and I think, was it Bruce Brown or one of the other players had another 15 points. So, Joker got his, and everybody else got theirs as well. So, I mean, it's not characteristic for Caldwell Pope to be scoring 20 something points. Caldwell Pope is a good player. He hits his open threes, but I think we will all agree 20 something points is a little extra for him. So these are things that has to be addressed. Of course, we know the Nuggets will look at, you know, the adjustments the Lakers made in the second half and look to counter that as well. So I think this is going to be, an excellent series. I look forward to seeing, you know, what happens, what adjustments are made, and I think it's going to be an exciting long series. Similar with Boston and the Heat. Boston, of course, they're a good defensive team. They sometimes seem to forget it a little bit, but you know the muscle memory, I should say, is it comes back usually when they really need it. So I'm expecting it to be a good series. We know how good Spoelstra is in making adjustments, identifying weaknesses, and getting the most out of his team. So the Heat Celtics will also be a great series. But so stay tuned and we'll see what happened. Hoopinhoops.com.